Okay, I left my freaking microphone in my truck. This would be a time where I wish I would have had, because they got like a plug-in microphone that y'all seen sometimes that I can talk in to make sure that y'all really hearing it. So mic check, can y'all hear me? I won't know until I review this video. So let's try to remake this Escrow video from the Escrow part 1 that I made. And let's do it from there. Dang, my arm's looking kind of big. I need to slow down on them push-ups. But that's neither here nor there. Alright, so let's cover page 1. Like I said, once again, my sister Cynthia, she sent me this information. This is not something that I knew. My sister Cynthia sent this information because her husband, you know, was here at USA and he had left. And they was trying to give him grief. Well, not to say USA, but Tell. Like, USA has nothing to do with the Tell leasing, but the leasing company was giving him, I guess, a little bit of a headache about the escrow. So my sister looked up details on, you know, the truth. So she told me to share it with you guys, so I am. And let's get started. Okay, so I'm pulling up the information. Okay. Use independent contractor, owner-operator should be sure to familiarize themselves with the very strict federal written lease requirements which dictate many of the detailed terms in an independent contractor's agreement. So, let me see. Question number 1. Are couriers required legally to have an escrow account? The answer is no. Having an escrow fund is purely voluntary on the part of the courier. Question number 2. Does a courier have to actually list in the independent contractor's agreement all of those items which can be deducted from the escrow by the courier? The answer is yes. This is strictly required by the federal written lease requirements. Question number 3. Do the federal written lease requirements control the interest rate pertaining to the escrow fund? The answer is yes. The federal written lease requirements state that while the escrow fund is under the control of the courier must pay interest on the escrow fund on at least a quarterly basis and in a particular manner. Question number 4. What happens to couriers who violate them? There are currently class action lawsuits against couriers across the United States who have escrow funds but who have not been properly following the federal written lease requirements as to the actual operation of these funds. Question number 5. Does the independent contractor agreement have to specify the exact amount of the escrow fund to be established with the owner-operator's money, and what specific items and repairs it may be used for? The answer is yes, in detail. Question number 5. Can an independent contractor demand of the courier an accounting of escrow transactions at any time during the independent contractor's relationship? The answer is yes, per federal law. So you can't argue with federal laws. If the law is saying that the couriers have to abide by certain regulations, then you can throw that law right in their face like, hey, this is the law, so you need to abide by or we're going to have a lawsuit. So, question number 6. How quickly does the courier have to return all the escrow funds to the independent contractor after the termination of the lease between the parties? After the termination of the lease, the courier has up to 45 days to return all escrow funds to the independent contractor. Specific items and repairs is to be used. Okay, question number 7. Couriers, no, I'm sorry. I'm on more of the facts now. I thought it was a question, but it's more stating like paragraphical facts. So, couriers must give a clear description of each escrow transaction monthly or by clearly indicating on individual settlement sheets the amount of description of any deductions or addition to the escrow fund. The owner-operator may demand an accounting of escrow transactions at any time during the lease. The courier must pay interest on all escrow funds in an amount at least equal to yield on a 91-day, 13-week U.S. Treasury bill. See note below. After termination of the lease, the courier has 45 days and no more to return all escrow funds. There are no exceptions to this rule. Interest rates on the issue of the interest rate and the interest that must be reported and paid to the independent contractor. That while the escrow fund is under the control of the courier shall pay interest on the escrow fund on at least a quarterly basis for the purposes of calculating the balances of the escrow fund on which interest must be paid. The courier may deduct a sum equal to the average, and that's where it cuts off. But like I was trying to show before, this is what I'm reading from, and it's called Landline Magazines. Landline Magazines, a business magazine for professional truckers, and it's LANDLINEMAG.com. So if you want them people that like to read online, because sometimes some of these magazines you can get them online versus having a hard copy mailed to your home, because you know everything is just pretty much technology, internet nowadays. So okay, upon completion of your lease, a lease provision may state that you are entitled to the return of your escrow funds upon the completion of your lease. This too is illegal. The regulation clearly states that escrow funds must be returned within 45 days of the date of the lease termination. By making the completion of the lease a condition for the return of the escrow fund, the motor courier is imposing an early termination penalty. Both the court and the Arctic Express and Leader cases found such an early termination penalty to be unlawful under the regulations. I think I read this in the part 2. So yeah, I think I've accounting at the settlement. Yeah, we covered this stuff in the part 2. But this is what the website looks like when you do go to that magazine website. It'll come up just like this. So if you're somebody that just like to read about trucking forums, or they even have something like if you got series, what is it? Siri XM radio station. They got something called Road Dog. So if you just really like trucking and you just want to hear different perspectives from, you know, professional truck drivers, Road Dog talk about trucking all day. They have different talk shows on Road Dog. You know, it's just a trucking radio station on, I think it's Siri. I don't know why I can't get it. Siri XM radio station. Is it Cyrus or Siri? It's one of them. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, SM whatever. Okay, yeah. But Road Dog is the trucking radio station for us. So, I know I done missed some stuff. But if I did, you know, let me know. If you got any questions, let me know. I'll be trying to catch up with everybody's messages, but I'm only one person, so this is a one-woman operation. I'm doing the best I can to communicate with everybody. So, you know, I hope that was more clearer. I know I probably done missed some slides, but I believe I covered everything because all the other slides looked like it was repeating itself. So, all right, guys, y'all have a lovely night. I need to lay down and catch some Z's because I have to get up in the morning and get back to work again. So, time's of the essence. Let's make better time of it. Let's love each other, not judge each other, because I never judge y'all, and a sister love y'all. Virtual hug, everybody. Virtual hug. Deuces. Deuces.